1 year ago today, severe storm swept through the Commonwealth, packing a serious punch in terms of storm strength and damage.
Yeah, we saw roofs ripped off buildings in Richmond. Some people reported hail the size of baseballs. It shredded house siding, roofs, and windows in neighborhoods and businesses off the Robert Martin bypass. Welcome into WKYT News at 5:30. I'm Amber Philpotts.
I'm Bill Bryant. WKYT's Samantha Valentino and photojournalist Darnell Crenshaw went back to that Hidden Hills neighborhood in Richmond that was so impacted.
And some homes still need damage repaired, while other homeowners just saw repairs made just a few days ago. It's our top story at 5:30.
All of a sudden, it sounded like a battle outside.
Chaos. It was wind and everything flying around. And
they were as big as baseballs.
we did pray. Oh, we prayed. We prayed hard.
This is the Hidden Hills neighborhood. Homeowners Sherry D. Hart and Deshaun Thompson recall last year's hailstorm. Thompson happens to have an image of a storm on his Crocs.
I mean, it is kind of ironic that I got these on my shoes. If I send you the pictures, you'll see this was completely destroyed.
They were holes, and then the siding was just hanging off in pieces.
D. Hart tells WKYT she had hail damage to her roof, trim, windows, fence, and car. Total damage around $60,000. She says it took her contractor about 7 months to fix everything, but she understood it would take time.
It's a due process. There's nothing you can do about hurrying it up.
Thompson had hail damage to his car, roof, chimney, windows, and fence. $44,000 worth of destruction. He says it took his contractor about 10 months to make him whole.
Our contractor was good, but it was just trying to get things done with insurance and supplies.
However,
There are still places that are still in dire need of repair.
Thompson wishes insurance companies and contractors had a standard practice to fix damage.
You know, we all deserve to have our houses put back the way it's supposed to be. In a timely manner, yes.
Most of the homes here have new roofs. Some look brand new, but not all of them are back 100%. In Richmond, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.
And during last June's Madison County hailstorm, the Kentucky Division of Emergency Management reported there were 379 structure damage assessments. That includes homes and businesses.
And remember, you can always stay weather aware with the WKYT First Alert Weather app. That app is free to download. Just scan the QR code you see there on your screen, and you'll get the latest conditions, radar, and weather alerts sent straight to your phone.
In some ways,